All right, we are now down to section 3 of lesson 2-4. And section 3 covers questions 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's take a look starting with question 7. It says, critique the reasoning of others. A student claims that the equation 2x plus 6 equals 4x plus 4 has no solutions because when you substitute 0 for x, the left side has a value of 6 and the right side has a value of 4. Is the student's reasonings correct? And explain. The issue with this is if we plug in 0 for x, then that's not necessarily saying we have no solution. That would say that 0 is the solution. Remember, no solution is meaning that I cannot plug in any value to make the equation true. So, no, the student's reasoning is not correct. Yes, 0 does not work, but that's not what it means to have a no solution. So let's actually solve this equation for x and see what we come up with. So I'm going to do this in the My Notes section off to the side. We started out with 2x plus 6, and we set that equal to 4x plus 4. Now, ultimately what we're trying to do is we're trying to get our x values on one side and our constants on the other, and then solve for x all by itself. So I'm going to start this off by using the subtraction property of equality and subtracting 2x from both sides. That means the x is over there, cross out. We're left with 6 equals 2x, because 4 minus 2 is 2, plus 4. Now, I want to get the 4 from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. I'm going to do this by, again, using the subtraction property of equality. Here, the 4 minus 4 becomes 0. The 6 minus 4, however, is 2. So I have 2 equals 2x. Lastly, in order to get x by itself, we're going to do the division property of equality and divide by 2 on both sides. So this equation actually has a solution, and that solution is x equals 1. So the student was incorrect. In their reasoning, because plugging in 0 for x would have proven that 0 is the solution for x, not that the equation has no solution. When we solved it, the equation actually has a solution of x equals 1. Sorry, I kind of went out of my space, but I wanted to make sure I answered the question in full detail. All right, let's take a look at question 8. Question 8 says, explain why the equation x plus 3 equals x plus 2 has no solution. Now recall that having no solution means that whatever number I plug in for the value of x, it will never work. So why will this never give me a true statement? If we think about this, if a number is increased by 3 and the same number is increased by 2, the two expressions kind of go down a little bit here, will never be equal. Hence the reason this is a no solution. Okay, I can also do this one out to the side like we did here. All of this work, I'm going to kind of block it off. This all went with question number 7. Now I'm going to do question number 8 the same way. I've got x plus 3 equals x plus 2. If I subtract x from both sides, I come down to the statement 3 equals 2, which is false. No solution. And this is just the work for number 8 to kind of prove what we stated here. Number 9 says, reason quantitatively. For what value of a does the equation 3x plus 5 equals ax plus 5 have infinitely many solutions, and explain? So I want to know what value here would make this be a true statement in the end. Okay? So basically, whenever I come down to the end, I want it to say the same thing on one side as to the other. Well, let's think about this. In order to have infinitely many solutions, the left and right expressions should be equivalent. In order for that to be true, A, let me erase that so we can kind of clear that up there. A must be equal to 3. The x is already the same. The 5's are already the same. So the only thing that has to be the same now is the coefficient to x, which is 3. Number 10, consider the equation nx minus 4 equals 6. What are the solutions if the value of n is 0, and explain? Well, let's take a look. If n is 0, we have nx minus 4 equals 6. We're going to plug 0 in for n and solve. So let's take a look. 0x minus 4 equals 6. What's 0 times x? Should be 0. What's 0 minus 4? Should be negative 4. Will negative 4 equal 6? Never. So this will actually give us no solution. So if if n is 0, we've come down to a false statement, which indicates that there is no real solutions if n is 0. B, what is the value of n? What if the value of n is 2? What is the solution of the equation, and how do you know? Well, first, plug in 2 for n. So I'm going to have 2x minus 4 equals 6. Now solve for x. Okay, so we're going to add 4. We have 2x equals 10. We're going to do the division property. X equals 5. So what would be the solution? The solution is x equals 5 if n equals 2. Because 2 times 5 is 10, minus 4 would be indeed 6. On to your final debriefing.